The Seattle rain fell in a relentless drizzle, soaking the cracked pavement outside a modest shelter where the air smelled of damp concrete and hope. Inside, a line of weary faces, men and women who'd lost everything, clutched steaming cups of coffee, their eyes bright with something new, a chance at a job, a bed, a future. At the heart of this quiet revolution stood Jeff Bezos, not the billionaire titan of commerce, but a man in a plain jacket, slipping through the shelter's back door to check on a program he'd built in secret. For months, he'd funneled millions into homes for the homeless, creating not just roofs but pathways to new lives. No press releases heralded his work, no logos branded the effort. But when the truth of his silent mission broke, the city paused, and those he'd helped stood taller, their gratitude a beacon brighter than any corporate empire. It was the winter of 2025, and Seattle was a city of contrasts. Skyscrapers gleamed under a gray sky, their glass reflecting the hustle of tech giants and startups, while beneath them, tent cities sprawled along sidewalks, their tarps flapping in the wind. The air carried the sharp bite of rain and the faint warmth of street vendors' pretzels, but for the homeless, it was a city of closed doors. Shelters were overflowing, jobs out of reach, and the promise of a better life felt like a cruel mirage. The sound of rain on plastic tarps mingled with the distant hum of traffic, a constant reminder of a world moving on without them. Jeff Bezos was in his Seattle office, a sleek space of polished wood and floor-to-ceiling windows, when the idea took root. He'd been scrolling through X late one night, the glow of his screen casting shadows across his desk, when a post stopped him cold. It was from a woman named Carla, a former nurse who'd lost her home after a medical crisis. "I just want a chance to start over," she wrote, her words raw with desperation. "I'm not invisible." The post wasn't directed at him, just a cry into the digital void, but it hit him like a freight train. He thought of his own journey, building Amazon from a garage, defying odds, and saw a parallel in Carla's plea. Success wasn't just wealth, it was opportunity, and too many were denied it. He could have written a check, donated to a charity, or amplified Carla's post to his millions of followers. Instead, he acted. Through his charitable fund, he launched the Second Chance Initiative, a quiet project to transform shelters into hubs of opportunity. He started in Seattle, his adopted hometown, where the homeless crisis was a daily wound. His team worked in secrecy, leasing buildings, hiring social workers, and partnering with local businesses to create job programs. Bezos himself visited shelters incognito, his baseball cap pulled low, his presence unnoticed as he listened to residents' stories. The air in those places was heavy with the scent of bleach and despair, but he saw potential where others saw only loss. The conflict came early, sharp and bureaucratic. City officials, wary of private initiatives, questioned the program's scope. In a fluorescent-lit meeting room that smelled of stale donuts and bureaucracy, a councilwoman named Torres leaned forward, her voice clipped. "Who's funding this?" she demanded, her pen tapping a stack of reports. "We can't have unvetted operations taking over public services." Outside, the rain drummed against the windows, a steady rhythm of doubt. Some shelter residents were skeptical too, burned by promises that never materialized. Carla, now a regular at one of the initiative's shelters, confronted Bezos during a visit, mistaking him for a volunteer. "Why should we trust this?" she asked, her voice rough with years of disappointment, her hands clutching a worn backpack. The room was dim, lit by flickering bulbs, the air thick with the smell of wet clothes. Bezos met her gaze, his voice calm but firm. "Because I've seen what second chances can do," he said. "Give it a shot." She didn't respond, but she stayed. The development was a marathon of persistence and vision. Bezos poured hundreds of millions into the initiative, his accountants wincing as funds flowed from his personal fortune. He worked from a temporary office near the shelters, its walls covered with blueprints and job placement stats, the air sharp with the scent of ink and determination. He pushed his team to innovate, job training tailored to each resident's skills, partnerships with local companies for entry-level positions, even microloans for small business ventures. He hired former homeless individuals as program coordinators, their insights shaping the effort. Carla became one of them, her nursing experience guiding health workshops. "You're giving them more than a bed," she told Bezos one evening, her voice softer now, the shelter's common room warm with the glow of new lamps. "You're giving them purpose." The conflict deepened when a local activist group accused the program of gentrifying the homeless crisis. In a heated community meeting, held in a church basement that smelled of old hymnals and candle wax, a young organizer named Jamal stood, his voice booming. "This is just a rich man's pet project," he said, pointing at the new shelter blueprints. "It's not for us, it's for his ego." The crowd murmured, torn between gratitude and suspicion. Bezos was there, uninvited but present, standing at the back in a plain jacket. He stepped forward, his heart pounding but his voice steady. "This isn't about me," he said. "It's about you, about giving you the tools to rebuild. Tell me what you need, and we'll make it happen." The room fell silent, Jamal's eyes narrowing but listening. It wasn't agreement, but it was a start. The climax came on a cold February morning, when the first second chance shelter officially opened. The building was modest but sturdy, its walls painted a soft blue that seemed to defy the gray sky. Inside, the air smelled of fresh paint and possibility, with job counselors at desks, a kitchen serving hot meals, and dorms with clean beds. Carla stood at the entrance, now a program manager, welcoming residents with a smile that hadn't come easily in years. "This is your home," she said to a young man named Javier, handing him a key to a dorm. His hands trembled, his eyes wet as he stepped inside. Outside, a small crowd gathered, residents, volunteers, even Jamal, cheering as the ribbon was cut. Bezos watched from the sidelines, his cap pulled low, his throat tight with emotion. He thought of his own risks, his own second chances, and saw them reflected in every face. The truth slipped out slowly, as truth often does. A volunteer posted a photo on X, capturing Bezos helping unload mattresses, captioned, "This guy's changing lives." The post went viral, retweets piling up as news outlets pieced together the initiative's funding. Videos of residents like Javier, now training as a mechanic, spread across the internet. The Second Chance initiative became a model, replicated in other cities. Bezos didn't comment, didn't seek the spotlight. He was already planning the next shelter, his mind on the thousands still waiting. The denouement came months later, in a letter from Carla. It arrived at his office, handwritten on shelter stationery, its edges crisp. You saw us when no one else did, she wrote. You gave me back my life. Bezos read it in his office, the Seattle skyline shimmering through the rain-streaked window, the air soft with the scent of cedar. He folded the letter, tucking it into a drawer beside others like it. It wasn't the world's praise he wanted. It was the knowledge that Carla, Javier, and countless others had a chance to start again. As the Second Chance initiative grew, its impact rippled beyond Seattle, a testament to what one person's vision can do. Jeff Bezos, a man whose empire reshaped the world, found his true strength in opening doors for those society had forgotten. His legacy wasn't in wealth or power, but in the opportunities he created for those who'd lost everything. Sometimes, leadership is about building not just businesses, but bridges to new beginnings, giving those in need the chance to stand tall again.